morning, good evening, hello, hello, hello. My name is Sylvie, and today I'm going to be showing you how to turn this into this. So I'm going to be showing you how I make custom trees. Let's go. A little bit of backstory is I took part in Solidarity's Members Empire server, which means that I got to build my very own empire, which was so much fun. And that is why I am wearing a teensy tiny little flower crown. Here, let me show you the back too. It's because my empire was very nature themed. So I figured that this was fitting. Ooh, whoops. Well, that's okay. Also, I learned so much there. Not only did I learn how to build trees, I also learned that you can middle click something to copy it. So, like, I have no leaves right now, right? I can middle click with my mouse, and now I have leaves. And it's amazing. Awesome, right? Anywho, I'm gonna take this, and I am going to silvify it. So first, I'm just going to grab what I need, which is going to be spruce planks. Let me find it. Stripped spruce wood, oak wood, and just a couple other things for the base. Let me find the stairs. There they are. Perfect. First, I want to just build it however I feel like. However tall you feel. I don't want to go too big, even though my empire was it was a pretty beefy tree. Like, yeah, if you haven't already, go check out his video. You might be able to see my empire. My empire was called the Ivy Hearth Empire. So, go see if you can find me. And I think this is tall enough. I think. We might make it taller in a second. But now I just want to go on each side and add a few branches. It's okay if it makes a little line like that because branches are very curvy and branches aren't all on the same height. They're around the same height, but they're not all on the same height. If you'd like, you can add another little layer and take it out a little bit. You can bring them down. You can take them up. Just don't go too far down because it doesn't look as good as if you go up. So you can also, don't be afraid to make them split off, because then that does stuff. It just looks like a fork in the branch. And now what I'm doing is the trunk of the tree. Trees are not just straight up and down like that. Like, even if you just wanted to make this a bit better, you could go around and just add a little bit. Just to make it look more tree-like and more have that curve of the roots actually holding it down. The reason why I'm using spruce and not oak is because here's oak wood. Alright? Here's the oak planks. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't blend as well as the spruce planks. It just matches more in color, at least with the oak wood. And now for the leaves, which are the most frustrating, but the most fun part. I promise you, you are going to hate this if you're doing a big tree, or you're going to love this if you're doing a big tree. It all just depends. I personally got very bored of placing leaves, so I would go and I would do something else, like a little bit more texturing, I'm just procrastinating placing the leaves now. It's a great part, but it can get a little bit boring. So, I actually did not like how that was. See, that just looks a tiny bit natural. So I like to go where there's a change in direction on the tree. And I take that, and then I just kind of crazy it. Raining to grow the tree. And then this gives you your frame. So you can like add as you need. But this gives you a nice little frame for you to build on. And it still looks natural, and it's a lot quicker for me at least than just going in and placing in a semi-random order. And then you can just go on the bottom like I did and just kind of beef it up. Go from the log and then out. And then that's how that looks. So I'm going to finish this up. And I will see you guys in a second. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going in. Oops. Now what I'm doing is falling off a tree, apparently. I'm just going into all of the places that I missed. Like here, I just forgot to do the underside a little bit. I'm just adding a bit more fluff, like a bit more leafage. Not enough to make it look like a super chunky tree, but enough to make it look not as much as a barren tree. So like, I like this, alright? I don't like my trees to be super full. But it was looking a little bit bare. So also, don't be afraid to just throw in some vines. I love vines. Like here, I would like a vine. I think that here's a good place. There we go. And right here, I missed a little tree. I just don't want to see any of those top woods peeking out. Seriously, every time I have gone to actually talk to you guys, this happens. Why? I just don't want any really flat areas. Like this? No. So what I do, cover up that, follow the log as much as possible, but don't follow it perfectly. It's kind of leaning towards that side, so I'm gonna add in a bit more right here. Yeah, that's why. It's because this area right here is very flat. So we're just gonna add a little bit more to make it not quite as flat. And maybe it would actually be more interesting to have a vine there. And see, we're just gonna do the top there. And then we should be good. Because that looks a whole lot less flat than it did before. So now, you can see there's some empty pockets, like right there. Could use something. But it looks pretty cool. In my opinion, this, we're not even quite done yet. Because trees, they are not all the same color leaves. So we're going to go in to decorations. Ooh, get that coal block out of the way. And I like working with spruce and azalea and flowering azalea. So for the spruce, I like to go in the bottoms because it just makes it look like it's been more shadowed. already adds a lot more interest and makes it this a whole lot more unique than if I was just using one leaf. Are you kidding me? Rain again? I forgot to look up how to change the weather. And then we made it darker on the bottom. So now let's make it slightly lighter on the top. And who doesn't love flowers? I love flowers. Look, they kind of match. Hold on, let me place one. See? We're twins. I have azalea flowers on my head. Oh, would you like a flower? Oh, okay. No worries. I'm just gonna fly up here. Why did you come over? I think that, they liked my flower crown. So I'm just gonna add a couple of flowers because flowers are amazing and epic and we all love flowers, except when they give you the sneezies. And then we love allergy medicine. Then we can go on the underside and we can just add. I don't necessarily like to remove any leaves when I'm adding the bottom layer of flowers. And see, and this is honestly my favorite part, let's just look it up. Adding the little hanging roots. And if you want to go extra fancy, you can grab glowberries and some string. But I love the roots because not every one includes them in their builds, but this tree is, it might be looking for places to grow. It might have little branches that have died along the way. Little strings. And it just really adds to the overgrown feel of adding a different color, a different texture. Just another focal point that it doesn't take away from the tree. It just adds a little bit. So this was my favorite part of the trees. I loved it. So yeah, that's all. You don't need a lot of hanging roots. And then you can add some glowberries, of course, because they look like, I mean, they're literally vines that are falling down. I don't know what you expected. They're just vines. And they provide a nice, this is just a way to aesthetically farm glowberries. And if you want to stop them from growing somewhere, you can place some string that'll stop it from growing anywhere beyond this little point. And it's slightly visible. It is slightly visible, but you can't really see it from afar now, can you? So here it is at night, and the bats seem to be enjoying it very much. And you can see the glowberries add a glow, as is their name, so they're just a little light source, and it looks so cool. And I'd love to just sit under here and read a nice book. And I mean, this one's cool. This one's fine, but this one really adds a lot of personality to a build. And it's something, it just makes the build so much warmer. Like, even if we go over here, we just zoom. This area has so much more interest already, and it just makes you want to walk over here rather than this. Oh, you poor thing. Oh, why are y'all just, that's not a good place for glow squid. But it just brings a lot more interest, and we can see it during the day too. Here it is during the day. And it looks better at night, I think. But it still looks so awesome in the day too. It's just the light really pulls your eyes upwards, and the changing in colors. And there are a couple areas where you can add more leaves based on your hello. based on your preferences. So don't be afraid to really pull out all the leaves. And if you don't want to build this and you just want to sprout up a tree, that's fine too. So you can just literally add a couple roots, a couple little structures that make it look like it's just holding its own more. And that looks better. That already has more interest than it did before. And you can change up the blocks if you like. You can use any wood that you'd like. This is just the color palette that I chose because I think it looks well with oak. So 3 things to remember. Always use more than one leaf color because that just adds a bunch of variation that makes it look a bit, just a tiny bit better. Just a little bit. Just enough that it matters. And don't be afraid to place a lot of branches because trees branch out. They wouldn't be trees. They wouldn't be very well, good growing trees if they didn't branch out. And always add glowberries. That's number 2.5. Glowberries make everything better, and hanging roots. And as what am I getting stuck on here? Well, I'll just end it here. As always, bring pie next time. Okay, bye. Oh, a little bat.